All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us today. We are coming to you live. Michael is with us, Michael O'Donnell, who is the site director for Northern Arizona Veterans Resource Center. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for having me, Adam.
Absolutely. Michael and I just had a great conversation offline about all the different services that they provide to our veterans here in Northern Arizona, and also the emergency funding and support that has come in to help folks during this time of crisis during COVID. Um, Michael, incredible work what you all are doing, and I am so glad to hear about what you have achieved in the recent past in terms of housing folks and keeping people off the streets and keeping them safe and isolated and fed. Maybe talk a little bit about those who are in the hotels and what you all are doing today.
So, in the present situation, the Veterans Administration has enabled us to get safe shelter, hotels, motels for homeless veterans, and has also made it so that we can provide food, meals for those veterans, as well as continue with our normal work of helping those veterans find permanent housing.
So talk to me about how that works. I know a lot of veterans need to meet all sorts of qualifications. What kind of qualifications do they need to receive these services?
So the eligibility, there's basically 3 points of eligibility. The first is veteran status, which is it's just 1 day of active duty. You do not have to be a fully VA eligible veteran. You can have an other than honorable discharge even, and just 1 day of active duty. Does not have to be 2 years of active duty. And then the second part, obviously, would be the housing status of being homeless. And the third criteria, there is an income. It's 50% of average median income, which in Coconino County is $26,350 a year. So if you're under that mark, you would be eligible for this type of service.
So someone who's a veteran who might be experiencing homelessness today, or someone of maybe a family member knows someone who is a veteran who might be experiencing homelessness, they reach out to you, they talk to you, they might need to fill out some paperwork, and then how's that work? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so right now it's working a little different than normal because we are working remotely at present. So a case manager would speak to you on the phone and get the basic eligibility information we just discussed. If you had a VA card, might receive a fax or a picture of it by phone. Or we can also look up veteran status remotely with just a few pieces of information, name, date of birth, social security number. We were able to pull up veteran status that way in just a few short minutes. So you don't have to have a DD-214. Getting a DD-214 can take quite a while. The VA has developed this new system called Squares where we can quickly figure out eligibility. And
Nice.
it saves a lot of time in getting people help.
That's great. And you all don't just serve Flagstaff, you all serve quite a range, right?
There are 14 sites. 3 of them are in Arizona: Bullhead City, Prescott, and Flagstaff. We effectively serve all of northern Arizona. The flag office serves Coconino, Navajo, Apache, and Gila counties, and even on the Navajo reservation into New Mexico.
Wow. And during this time of COVID, have you seen like increase in calls or people reaching out for support? What's it look like?
We have definitely seen an increase in homeless veterans reaching out for shelter, and both of a temporary nature and of long-term permanent housing.
And I think you told me earlier that you've been able to house 2 folks so far recently, or can you remind me that?
This week, 2 people, yes.
Have been housed.
Yes.
Wow. Cheers to that. That's huge. And then remind me how many folks are currently being put up in a hotel?
Right now, I believe it's 16 is
Okay.
the present number. Since we started this, I believe today we're at 20. You know, some people have moved out of the hotel and into other housing.
That's incredible. That's really great. And these folks who are in the hotel are able to be, you know, isolating themselves and social distancing themselves. And as we spoke about earlier, they're having 3 meals brought to them a day, right?
Yeah, we have an arrangement so that food can be delivered to the hotel itself. And there's also, you know, microwaves and refrigerators. You know, people can choose to make their own food as well.
That's great. But that's just the emergency part of what you all offer. Really what you do at the end of the day is really try to get people into housing, long-term housing.
Yeah, our main focus is permanent housing. What we really want to do is end veteran homelessness. That is our primary mission. And I believe that providing emergency housing assistance will lead to more success in that mission as well. Because, you know, having a roof over your head it is a big motivator to keep a roof over your head. That it has already shown some results in that some folks who haven't had a place in a long time, now that they have their own space, you know, have started to work on making that a permanent situation for themselves. Now that, you know.
Michael, you mentioned that through the funding that you receive, you can also help with a range of other topics potentially. Can you talk a little bit about other than housing?
So once we have housing, you know, the big challenge is keeping it stabilizing it, which, you know, can take quite a few different things: transportation, employment assistance, things you might need for a job, you know, tools, etc. Connecting with income sources such as veterans benefits in some cases, or Social Security, retirement, Social Security, disability. It really, for everyone, it's different, of course, because everyone's going to need something different. Could be budgeting, financial management.
And you had mentioned something about case management before, right?
Yeah, those are all parts of the case management services we offer. Okay. That can basically, the function of our case management services is connecting people with the resources that are in this community, because we have a large number of resources in this community.
Yes, we do. That's great. Michael, as we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to say in closing, or any other comments you'd like to share with the public? Maybe for folks who, you know, for folks who are watching who might have relatives who are veterans, or know people who are veterans who are experiencing homelessness.
Yeah, if you know any veterans who are experiencing homelessness, please have them contact us. It's very, very likely that we'll be able to help them. You know, we have over an 80% success rate, and I would really encourage you to, you know, if that person doesn't have a phone, you know, let them use your phone, have them call us. We can get people phones, you know, so that they can maintain contact with us and get this done.
And, you know, given that we're adjacent to the reservation and just the whole population of Native veterans, is there any specific messaging that you want to share in regards to that population?
Yes, so we serve the reservation, and there are resources available for veterans on the reservation in terms of housing. And we're able to rent, help veterans rent properties both on and off the reservation. Of course, there's not a lot of rentals on the reservation, but there are in the towns surrounding it. And so we do a lot of work in those towns, and occasionally we're able to find, something within reservation land as well.
That's great.
So, yeah.
That's really wonderful. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your efforts in helping those who have served our country and it might be, struggling in our society to get their feet on the ground. I really appreciate the work you're doing and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Adam. Appreciate the work you're doing and appreciate your time as well. Thanks for this opportunity for us to share our program.
Absolutely.